It's 8:17 in the morning. You're walking through Manchester with a coffee in one hand, your laptop in your bag, and one question running through your head. Why did I choose the module with the complicated name? You're heading towards the Kilburn Building. Around you, the city is already awake. Buses are moving. Students are rushing towards lectures. Someone looks suspiciously energetic for this time in the morning. And somewhere between checking your timetable and taking another sip of coffee, it hits you. You're actually here at the University of Manchester studying an MSc in Advanced Computer Science. And over the next 12 months, your relationship with computers is about to become significantly more complicated. In a good way, because this isn't really a master's where you arrive to learn what programming is. Manchester expects you to arrive with that part already handled. This program is designed for students who already have a substantial computer science background and want to go deeper, much deeper. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity, data engineering, human computer interaction, advanced software systems. You haven't come here to repeat your undergraduate degree. You've come here to decide what kind of computer scientist you want to become. When the semester begins, one of your biggest decisions is choosing what to study, and Manchester gives you quite a lot of freedom. There is only one compulsory component across the program: your master's project. For the taught part of the degree, you choose 4 themes built around related units. So your MSc can start looking very different from the MSc of the person sitting beside you. Maybe you're fascinated by artificial intelligence. You could explore machine learning, reinforcement learning, reasoning under uncertainty, or areas involving computer vision and knowledge representation. Maybe cybersecurity is more your thing. Then cryptography, network security, software security, secure computer architecture, or AI privacy might start appearing on your timetable. Or perhaps data engineering is where your brain lights up. You're not simply being handed one fixed version of advanced computer science, you're building your version of it, which sounds exciting until you have to choose. Then suddenly every module looks interesting and your browser has 17 tabs open. Welcome to postgraduate decision making. Manchester estimates roughly 30 hours of independent study each week during semesters 1 and 2. And suddenly, those 12 hours look slightly less innocent. Your week can move between lectures, workshops, computer based practical sessions, and independent study. One day, you're discussing advanced machine learning concepts. The next, you're debugging something that absolutely worked yesterday. You know it worked yesterday. There were witnesses, but this is advanced computer science. Sometimes the computer has its own academic opinion. The Department of Computer Science is based in the Kilburn Building, where Manchester reports more than 300 computers, refurbished teaching laboratories, and collaborative working labs. There is even a hardware library with equipment ranging from electronic components to virtual reality headsets and drones. So, this isn't just about sitting through lectures and collecting notes. You're expected to experiment, build, test, question, break things occasionally, and ideally, figure out why they broke. Eventually, you close the laptop. Manchester is waiting outside. You're living in one of the UK's major cities. There are students everywhere, coffee shops when the library needs a change of scenery, restaurants for the evening when cooking feels like an unnecessary technical challenge, music, sport, societies, events, and plenty happening beyond campus. The university has accommodation across areas including City, Victoria Park, and Fallowfield. Maybe you want to stay closer to the academic side of university life. Maybe you want a busier student neighborhood. Maybe your greatest luxury is simply being able to wake up slightly later before a morning lecture. Perfectly reasonable. Computer science students can get involved with communities such as UniCS and the Manchester University Data Science Society, alongside other engineering, volunteering, and outreach groups. Because during a 1 year master's, things happen quickly, very quickly. Career planning doesn't begin when the MSc finishes. It begins almost immediately. The department runs an industry club, employer talks, and technical events. There is also a computer science industry placement and careers fair held in October, with opportunities connected to internships and graduate recruitment. Yes, October. You have barely figured out where everything is, and somebody is already asking about your career plans. Manchester's computer science graduates work across areas such as software engineering, data science, AI, cybersecurity, UX, systems, consulting, and research. The university also identifies industries ranging from technology and telecommunications to banking, finance, and healthcare. Greater Manchester has identified digital and technology, financial services, and business and professional services among important growth sectors. Manchester was also ranked the UK's most targeted university by leading graduate employers in High Flyers 2026 research. That doesn't mean a job magically appears with your graduation certificate. If only careers worked like software installation. And Manchester's Career Service gives you access to vacancies and events through Career Connect, alongside CV reviews, application feedback, and career guidance. So the smart move is simple: start early, and then comes the biggest challenge of the year. Remember the only compulsory component? The master's project. It's worth 60 credits, one third of the entire degree. And when summer arrives, it becomes the center of your academic life. Manchester estimates roughly 40 hours each week for project work during this period. This is where everything starts coming together: the technical knowledge, the research, the problem solving, the questionable amount of caffeine. You plan a substantial piece of independent work, you think about research methods, ethical and legal questions, technical writing, evaluation, and eventually you create something that demonstrates what you can actually do with advanced computer science. For someone thinking about a PhD, this can become an introduction to serious independent research. For someone heading towards industry, it can become evidence of technical capability. Don't think of it as something that simply finishes the degree. Think of it as the final chapter of the story you're going to tell employers afterwards. At the beginning, 12 months sounds like plenty of time. Then you're choosing modules, meeting classmates, joining societies, attending career events, working on assignments, exploring Manchester, applying for jobs, planning your project. And suddenly, you're sitting in the Kilburn Building, working on the final stages of that project. The person who arrived at the beginning of the year isn't quite the person sitting there now. Maybe you've become fascinated by AI. Maybe security became your thing. Maybe you discovered that data engineering was much more interesting than you expected. Maybe your project completely changed the direction you thought your career would take. It's not designed to introduce you to computer science, it's designed to let you push further into it. Manchester's research environment spans areas including AI, data science, future computer systems, human centered computing, software and e infrastructure, and theory and foundations. The department has also reported sharing first place in the UK for Computer Science Research Environment in REF 2021. And you're doing all of this while building a life in Manchester, a city that becomes your commute, your coffee stop, your weekend, your network. And for 12 very busy months, you're home. So imagine it again. It's Monday morning. You're walking towards Kilburn, laptop in your bag, coffee in your hand. There's a lecture ahead of you, an assignment waiting somewhere in the background, and a piece of code you really hope has fixed itself overnight. It hasn't, obviously. But that's okay. Because this time, you're not watching somebody else build the future of computing. You're learning how to build your own part of it. And this is your MSc Advanced Computer Science at the University of Manchester. Your modules, your project, your Manchester, and possibly a few more browser tabs than you planned.